It's finished. In the fourth round of the FA Cup, Newport County 2, Manchester United 4, which means we advance to the fifth round where we'll face either Bristol City or Forest. But don't let the scoreline fool you. It's not as comfortable as it may look. We were 2-0 up and cruising. It was a professional performance. The two goals we got via Bruno and Maino, they finally found their level. And that's actually a glimpse into the future for Maino, because he'll be playing for Scunthorpe in a couple of years' time. He is not as good as the far top Reds would have you believe. I don't think he's a good player at all. How about that? You won't hear that on the far top Red channel, but you hear it on here. Then the game changed. With a almost covered in quality strike by the Newport player, which took a deflection. And then Newport equalised in the second half to make it 2 apiece. And we were on the ropes after that. And we were really struggling, let me tell you. It's embarrassing that we let a 2-0 lead slip. No Manchester United team worth its salt should be doing that, right? It's unacceptable and it was embarrassing. I felt embarrassed after watching what I witnessed tonight. And I have high standards, and you won't lower my standards, because we used to have higher standards, believe it or not, many moons ago. And you shouldn't lose a 2-0 lead against Cannon Fodder and Tin Pot Club like Newport, because you wouldn't see Man City do that. You just wouldn't. So, and I wouldn't have picked that team tonight either. I would have picked a weakened team. Why do we keep picking the same 11 virtually against this type of opposition? It just doesn't work for me. And Anthony was an embarrassment tonight. He was celebrating his first goal of the season like he was scoring for his native Brazil in the World Cup final. I don't understand why he does that. I don't understand why, he celebrated like he did. You wouldn't see Roy Keane do that, and you wouldn't see Rodri do that for Man City. You just wouldn't. But why are we accepting it at Man United Football Club? I just don't get it. And I just don't get Anthony. He's a complete and utter waste of money. And it's funny, isn't it, doing a nice Farage here, how the far top Reds are criticising him. Let's not forget, because you conveniently have top Reds, but that's what you do, isn't it? No, I beg your pardon. The far top Reds. Like in politics, far right or far left. How about? Right? That Anthony, he threw his toys at the pram. He refused to train. And the top Reds are going, pay the money. It doesn't matter how much Ajax want. Just pay it. Man City would have paid it. And now you're trying to turn the tables and try to go in a different direction, thinking, oh, we didn't want Anthony in the first place. Who do you think you're kidding? I don't have a short memory. Pay the money, they said. And it was complete and utter waste of money. A waste of good money. And it was a mistake. And it sent out the wrong message. And now look at his output. Celebrating like there's no tomorrow against Newport. Just a disgrace. It really, really is. I wouldn't accept it, and nor should you either. But we're through, and we take our place into the fifth round. Now I want to talk about Rashford. And if you're a nervous disposition, if you're a far top Red or a Rashford rimmer, this isn't the video for you. Because I'm going to go in straight. Apparently, he was on a bender in Belfast. Me neither. And Tanak said before the match that it's a disciplinary issue and it will be dealt in-house. I mean, it's an eternal issue, but it's virtually the same thing. Hopefully the club, come on, go into Rashford like a ton of bricks. Because what he did is unacceptable. And it's not the first time, by the way, that Rashford has brought the club into disrepute. Third time now. It's becoming a regular occurrence. We know that Rashford is a bad influence on Sancho and vice versa. People raving because Rashford scored 17 goals in the league last season and 30 goals all told. Michael Ricketts scored 15 goals before February in the 01-02 season in the Premier League. He never scored again in that season. A bit like Rashford himself. So I don't get this love and jubilation over Rashford. He's getting too big for his boots. You can't rely on him. He's only happy to come and collect his wages every single week. And I've had annoyance with Rashford ever since he tried to own the Tory government, trying to feed kids. Let me just remind you, Marcus, it's up to the parents to feed their kids, not up to you. And he didn't put his hand in his own pocket, by the way. He used taxpayers' money, right? And all the food he, drummed up for the kids was a waste. They had to throw it away because there was too much food, right? And I know this is probably difficult for people on the far left of politics, the loony left, because the mother is the woman who gives birth to the child. That's how it works, you see. And it's their responsibility. And if you think, was that a conservative politician, James Daly, is it? If you think that what he said about single mothers you got annoyed with, you just wait till I'm going to come out with now. I've always criticised single mothers, kids who are multiple fathers. They don't know who the fucking the next kid, they have. They come from council estates like Waynetta Slob from the Harry Enfield show. It's an abomination, these single mothers. Yeah. I've always criticised them, and nothing's ever changed my mind. Because I think if you have one kid, you can get paid for it, but if you have more than one kid, you can't. But they always find a way, to exploit the benefit system and all that jazz. But back to Rashford, he let himself down, he let the club down, and most importantly of all, he let the fans down, right? And I wouldn't have given him that new contract. I wouldn't have. And what we have to do now, what I would do, is we need to do to Rashford what Arsenal did to Aubameyang. Now, Aubameyang's got loads of goals. He then signed a new contract, and I think he only scored one goal there on in. We need to do the same to Rashford, pay off his contract, so then he can go elsewhere. Aubameyang left Arsenal, and he went on a free to Barcelona. So that's what I would do with Rashford. You can't rely on him. He sends out the wrong message. And I didn't like it as well when he, tried to poke his nose in the Seb Everard case. What the hell had that got to do with you? And he actually got the audacity to come out and go, oh, men have got to treat women equally and treat them how they should be treated. What it had to do with you, Rashford, I don't know. Because if you remember that curfew for men that was touted in the House of Lords, and let me just educate you here, there's around about 775 people in the House of Lords, right? And there's a curfew for men. There was somebody from the Green Party. And the Green Party, by the way, they only have one MP in the House of Parliament, just to educate you again. And that was a disgrace. And I'm telling you now, if the far left, the loony left, these activists get what they want and Labour get into power, I'm telling you now, it's not going to be a bed of roses. They'll give an amnesty to all these illegals who have come across Channel illegally. And they shouldn't be in this country. They're breaking into the country, right? 750 of the fuckers overnight, right? But the far left wouldn't say nothing about that because they love illegals. They love a bit of the BBC. And I'm not talking about the British Broadcasting Corporation either. I'll let you leave it to your vivid imagination as to why there's another BBC. And when I say that, it's about, obviously, the women. Claire for Clunge, that type of corrupt organisation. So Rashford's really annoyed me, and I would just get rid of him. I just don't get it. I wouldn't. He shouldn't have signed a new contract. I was the only Man United saying, "Don't sign a new contract. I don't want you to sign a new contract." And yeah, he did. Now we have to find a buyer for him. So hopefully we can. But as it stands, we have no choice but to keep him. But I would get rid of him. But he shouldn't be in this position in the first place because he shouldn't be at this club anyway. So that's the way I see it.